Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here, and welcome to my review of Doctor Who, the Faceless Ones DVD and Blu-ray. Before we start, I do have to mention I have not yet checked out the Blu-ray of the Blu-ray release, but I am able to conduct this review due to everything on the Blu-ray is exactly the same as the DVD, which I have now checked out. So let's start off. Oh, and also, I accidentally scratched the slipcase cover of my DVD downstairs on the, under the computer. Whoopsies. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's get started. Now, these are the slipcases of the story, as we can see, as they would come in. And I'd just like to quickly mention, I will talk about the cover actually in a bit, I was about to do that. But these slipcases are a nice representation of the cover that we get on the DVD. Nice spine as well. Back is pretty nice, and the side, other spine. My only complaint is that with these new releases of the animated version, starting with the Macra Terror, we're getting these backs. They're not, and we'll see here as well, not representing the standard classic series range. I mean, here we've got the new logo, but this is the side 2 of the cover, by the way, on the Blu-ray, and side 1 for the DVD. That's how I put it. But the roundel stuff, we don't really see that on the back of the normal version, and I don't know if it's because of the new logo change or just the new packaging design that they've decided not to. I mean, the full cover version on here, as opposed to a bit of roundel up there, has been going since the Enemy of the World, with only the moon base and the underwater Venice being exceptions. Also, sorry for any birds chirping outside. Birds like chirping in this neighbourhood a lot, as you may have heard in previous videos. But yeah, I'm not sure what the change was. Maybe it was the new logo, perhaps, that they changed the spine and the back. But still pretty decent back. This is just the normal one you get on the DVD. And I will show you the other versions in a bit. Same for the standard one, the side 2 of the Blu-ray. This is the putting it in line with the classic series range covers, which include the spine and back as they should be. I can show you the side 2 for the DVD and side 1 for the Blu-ray in a bit. But first, let's take a. We might even see it when we open up. Let's take a look inside, see what we get. Okay, so just like with the last few releases, apart from Power of the Daleks, the booklets inside, the production of booklets, have been all the same size because they're going in DVDs and Blu-rays and Steelbook Blu-rays. So because of that, they're the small, and same for the leaflets at the back. They're all small versions that would fit inside a Blu-ray case, but they're quite small for the DVD cases. Power of the Daleks, it was the DVD first, Blu-ray second. That's why that one had a bigger booklet and a different cover art on it. Whilst with Shada, Macra Terror and Faceless Ones, they're all the same cover art and it's all the same size because it's DVD, Blu-ray and Steelbook Blu-rays in one. Both are 3-disc sets. Disc 1 includes the black and white animated episodes of the Faceless Ones with bonus content. The bonus content on Disc 1 is actually the episodes again, but with episodes 1 and 3 being the original broadcast episodes, the still surviving 2 episodes, with the animated 2, 4, 5 and 6 episodes, as well as the fully animated version of the story. So that's the bonus content of that disc, is the version to watch the story with the original episodes 1 and 3, with the animated 2, 4, 5 and 6, alongside the fully animated version of the story. Disc 2, on the other hand, lies. There is no bonus content on Disc 2, it's just the fully animated version of the story in colour. No bonus features apart from maybe a commentary, perhaps in audio options. And then Disc 3, by the way, the booklet is now lacking special features. It mentions the commentary, episode reconstructions, surviving footage, camera scripts, and alternative black and white presentation. It forgets, however, we're bringing the Blu-ray slipcase over because that was the closest one. It also mentions Face to Face with the Faceless Ones, a making of documentary, which is about half an hour. Stock footage from original production. Yep, that's mentioned in the special features. And the surviving film fragments of planes from an independent company. So it forgets to mention that in the booklet, as well as also a trailer for Fury from the Deep. And PDFs, actually, I think that is mentioned. Yeah, camera scripts. perhaps. So the booklet actually forgets about some extras, which is a bit of a shame. If they reduced the text, or took away this image, perhaps we could have gotten more extras listed. It's a shame though. Nice booklet though, introduction notes and some nice images, both from the original episodes and the animated episodes, plus a process staging here, which we can also see in the documentary. Do have to mention with these whole broadcast episode and the audio approximately 6 million views and the broadcasting, etc. Similar thing to what they did with the Macroterra and the starring credits. Backs of the you know what you could actually do instead, future DVD and Blu-ray designs, just have on the back, like they originally did, have this story was originally broadcast between the 8th of April 1967 and 13th of May 1967. This story was originally broadcast on BBC One between the so-and-so. Don't need to worry about the audience viewers, and we don't need to know when the last time the story was broadcast. Just the original broadcast on BBC One, put it on the back as per originally was usual. I've got the cast list, that's fine, but you could have had more space for the bonus features or for a scene selection on the back. That's another thing with these new releases. They've lost what some of the previous classic series range stories booklets used to do, where it was a front cover with a little bit of notes, inside with list of special features, maybe a few other things, and then back with scene selection with some pictures on the back. Usually, they've decided not to do that. Production notes are great, but then they forget to do scene selection or to go more in depth onto the extras, as you can see, which is a bit of a shame. But nevertheless, Disc 3's extras there is really only just 3 extras, plus I also forgot to mention a reconstruction version that they've been doing. They've done a plain reconstruction of it. Good. I had a quick look at it, and if I say I don't think it's as good as Loose Cannons, which I checked out last year when I was trying to watch the story in full before the announcement of the animated version, as seen for the Retro Channel review. But the other content on here, the documentary is pretty good. It's about half an hour, just under. Still pretty interesting in places. The film, surviving footage from episode 2 and 4, and the surviving stock footage is also pretty good. And the trailer from Fury from the Deep is on there, so at least you get a sort of an equivalent to a next time trailer. In a way, the next animated release from BBC Studios for the next animated Doctor Who story. Although, if you wanted to be more accurate, the next Doctor Who DVD Blu-ray release in the classic range would be Season 14's Blu-ray, and overall Series 12 DVD Blu-ray and Blu-ray Steelbook. That's Series 12, the new series, or Season 38. But yeah, that's the DVD, and the Blu-ray is more or less the same, I guess. I mean, surprisingly, this is a 3-disc set. I mean, maybe they wanted to keep it, perhaps, like the DVD, but considering Series 9 of the new series, they had 6 discs, and they were able to move extras that were on the DVD, which was 7 discs. The last disc, they could move extras from that onto the other 6 discs of the Blu-ray, so it was only a 6-disc Blu-ray set rather than 7. They could have done the same here, considering it's Blu-ray, there's more space on discs. They could easily have moved extras from disc 3 onto discs 1 and 2, especially the reconstruction perhaps goes on to disc 2s, and then maybe they could put the extras spread out a bit more, perhaps, but never mind, that's not an issue, it's just a thing they could have done. In fact, actually, I think it would have been better if Series 9 had been a 7-disc Blu-ray set instead of 6, to be more in line with what the DVD was. Then again, the Series 5 Steelbook seems to be only 4 discs instead of the original 6 discs, and the 2009 Specials Blu-ray, I'm not sure about that one. It might be 5 discs, but it's including the animated episodes as well, so it could be 6 discs. Booklet's the same here, which is really good. Pretty good in booklet, by the way. And forgot to mention the inside at the back. I think on the DVD side it's Edge of Time game. Just check that. Yeah, on the DVD it's the side with the Edge of Time game, On the Blu-ray side, it was At Childhood's End, the BBC Books novel by Sophie Aldred, which I've yet to check out. Yeah, Blu-ray's pretty much the same. I will swap them around to the other opposite covers, so side 2 of this one and side 1 of that one, before talking about the covers. Okay, this is what side 2 of the DVD cover looks like, matching it alongside its the Blu-ray side 2. We'll swap this one background and that background as well for comparison, and then that will go background as well at the end. But basically it's more or less normal in a way towards it. The 2 Entertain logo is still there since 2013 when they changed it, when 2 Entertain stopped being 2 Entertain, I think. But the side 2 covers, which they introduced when they introduced the new BBC logo back in 2009, sorry for any noise outside, but they introduced the double-sided thing in 2009 so that you could have side with the original looking design when they introduced the new BBC logo. I've only just noticed that now. On this bit, you have BBC Doctor Who. You don't need to do that now. You've got the BBC logo up there, guys. And this one doesn't do that. Anyway, but yeah, it looks like that. 2 Entertain actually left the DVDs in 2012. They stopped having 2 Entertain on the spine, as shown here. So I don't know why they decided to keep doing it on the other side. Maybe it was for completion wide. And to be honest, I think most people would be putting the DVDs like this. On their spine, or maybe better aligned. Sorting these covers out to be proper is very annoying sometimes. You can fold it too much one way and too little the other way. But most people have it like that, I think. If they want it to be more completionist, it's that top bit. Sorry, you've seen me struggle with this a bit more. But yeah, but I don't know why they just don't lose the 2 Entertain logo, because it's not 2 Entertain anymore. Just have it as the blank colour, like the DVDs prior to 2005 when they introduced 2 Entertain, which I think, what was the first one they did? I think it was Revelation of the Daleks that had the first one, and the same for the new series ones when they, with Series 1 Volume 3 being the first one. So, with 2 Entertain's logos on the spines of the releases from Ace Adventures onwards, they could have lost the logo on this side and just have it a blank colour like the ones prior to Revelation of the Daleks. Oh well, it's not really a big issue. Spine looks normal, apart from some of the details they forget to mention, like this story was broadcast so-and-so when, and everything seems to be squished at the bottom now. It is a bit of a shame they don't look like the typical classic releases. I mean, I'm fine with the opposite covers, but they just don't seem to be very similar to the classic release ones anymore. And people who get more annoyed by the differences between these DVDs and Blu-rays are going to be more annoyed than I would. Blu-ray's the same. It actually looks kind of nicer on Blu-ray. I'm not quite sure, but it just feels a lot nicer. But yeah, it looks pretty good here. And I will say this with these covers, they put Patrick Troughton's face over Annika Will's over her mouth. Of course, on the Blu-ray they also cut off a bit of here as well. They also moved the control tower over to this side, then leave it on that side, probably so that they can have the age ratings and the 3 discs logo. But you can, and DVD logo here, but you can spread them out, you know, DVD designers, you can spread them out. But other than that, more or less normal. It does look a bit awkward in its cut down version though. Maybe making this image smaller in the first place might have helped. Oh well, never mind. I'm gonna now swap them back round to their first sides. Okay, onto the original sides for both DVD and Blu-ray, and this time I can talk about the covers a bit more. It's a nice cover design, but it's basically just the Doctor, some lights which presumably are the runway, the control tower, and Polly, half Polly, half Chameleon. There isn't really a lot going on, and that's the same issue with the Macra Terror from the last release. It was just the Doctor and the Macra. There isn't really a lot going on. The Steelbook artwork for this one looks really great. There wasn't a lot going on for it on the Macra Terror one either. I think the Macra Terror has probably got the weakest design across all 3 releases. This one's a close second though. I don't know who did the artwork. Who does it? Does it mention anybody doing the artwork? No, I don't think so. Which is a shame. It's not, I don't know if it's Clayton Hickman or Lee Binding or someone else. I mean, it's nice-ish, the nice covers, but I think we need a bit more going on, more to represent the story. I mean, we've got Polly and the Chameleon, which sort of represents the Chameleon pretending to be Polly at the end of part 1 and in part 2. But apart from that and a control tower, there's not really much else that's representing the story. The lights, sort of, I guess they represent the runway. But that's really about it. And of course, the Second Doctor, as we can tell, it's a Second Doctor story. But that's really about it. That's a bit of a shame. It's a nice cover, but it's a bit of a shame. And the same with Macra Terror. It's just the Second Doctor and a Macra. That was pretty much it. Sharda and Power of the Daleks had some pretty nice covers though. So I'm not sure why they've gone for a less. I mean, I don't mean it should be overcrowded with every single character, but I think there should be a bit more to represent the story, what's going on, or at least have an aeroplane in the background. But oh well, it doesn't really matter. The image in itself does look really good. The steelbook artwork does look really great, though. I might put a picture of that up on screen. But yeah, I think these artworks is pretty good, but sadly it's not showing too much of the story. Same with Macra Terror. Back is able to give us a bit more insight to what's going on with the script, the description, the extras, and these nice little images at the top. That does keep the tradition of having a few images from the classic series DVD and Blu-ray range, and they do appear at the top of the other sides as well. I shall now be turning this one back round for the final bit of the review. Okay, so this is how I will be displaying these two releases in my slipcases from now on. So side 1 of the DVD, which is the full cover image, everything is per normal, and side 2 for the Blu-ray. To match the Blu-rays, I mean, I could have left it at side 1, I could have left them all at side 1, but the double side cases for the Blu-rays, but it sort of matches up with what we get with the DVDs, apart from these newer ones, with the rounders and stuff. So it sort of works. But side 1, I kept it on normal side 1 because that's how it feels. I mean, Blu-ray ones, they could go side 1 or side 2. I decided to go with side 2, but side 1 I think is better for these ones. I mean, I know lots of people would prefer the side 2s for these releases. For 2009 releases onwards, they would prefer side 2. But I'm more of a side 1 person. With the Blu-rays, it doesn't really matter that much. I just put them on side 2 to make it feel more connected to the actual releases, which more so than side 1. But hey, I mean, if the backs were the same, backs, maybe the spine, perhaps it would line up more. Power of the Daleks did, Enemy of the World and Enemy of the World Special Edition, and The Web of Fear did. Sharda, I don't think did. It might have, actually. I think it's just these latest two, Macra Terror and Faceless ones, that haven't matched up. Maybe because of the new logo, perhaps. But I think you could still get away with it. Perhaps. Yeah, I think you still could have gone away with it, actually. But anyway, time for the final scores. The story itself, I've done a review of this story on the Nicholas Payne Retro channel with episodes 1 and 3 of the original version and a loose canon reconstruction of episodes 2, 4, 5 and 6. And at the time recording this video, I have also done a review on the Whoniversal's YouTube channel, which this video will go out after that has, so I can send you towards that for further thoughts. So, for thoughts on the story, please check out those two reviews, especially the Whoniversal's one for this particular release, because of the animated version. But in short, I think this is a very good story. It's my second favourite from Season 4 after The Evil of the Daleks, which I decided after the reviews last year. It was a second viewing for the reconstructions. I did watch the reconstructions of the missing stories in the summer of 2018, and then again for their reviews as part of my marathon in 2019. Well, 2018 for for Marco Polo, but 2019 for the rest. So you can check that review out for my thoughts on that version, and then the Whoniversal's one for the animated version that has come out as part of this DVD and Blu-ray release. But yeah, suffice to say, I think this is a great story, second favourite from Season 4, and, well, after last year, what it was last year. It might change after, if my opinion of Evil goes down after a rewatch, perhaps if an animated version gets released. But yeah, this was my second favourite of the season. In fact, when I watched the original... when I watched the reconstruction versions the first time, I actually thought it was my favourite of season 4, only to be topped by Evil on the rewatch, which was just in time for the reviews and the ranking. But again, in the future, we might see a change to that. The story itself, I've decided to give it a 9 out of 10. That was my score last year, and it's staying my score this year. There's a few hiccups with the animated version, but I go more into detail about that. I say detail, I talk a bit more about that in the Universal's review. So yeah, that's a 9 out of 10 for story. Special features, it is probably one of the lowest number of extras on a Doctor Who DVD and Blu-ray release. I mean, I think Macroterra had a few. I don't think it had too many. I'll just check it now. I've got the Blu-ray with me right here. Yeah, actually, this one, the Macroterra, had quite a few extras. As well as the commentary, you had the episode reconstructions, which these guys do as well. Bonus mini episode, which is the 10 minutes of the first 10 minutes of the Wind in Space. Animation test, animatics, animation gallery, teaser trailer for this story. They don't actually have a teaser trailer for this story on their release. They have one for Fury from the Deep, but that's about it. The alternative black and white presentation, so you have the story in colour and black and white. They mentioned that there. 1992 audio presentation, surviving footage, behind the scenes film, censored scene, title sequences, photo gallery, and production paperwork. This story had Macroterra had a pretty good special features lineup. And that one was spread across 2 discs. Then again, the story was only 4 episodes, so they had 2 less episodes on each disc. And that's not including the original episode versions from these 2. But on this one, you only get, the original episodes 1 and 3 with the option to watch them with the animated episodes 2, 4, 5 and 6 on disc 1, and the reconstruction version of those episodes on disc 3. Audio commentary on episodes 4, 5 and 6 for the animated one, and original episodes 1 and 3. So I don't know, so episode 2 gets missed out. The face-to-face documentary, stock footage, surviving film fragments, and a trailer for Fury from the Deep. So yeah, it's considering it's 3 discs, there's not much extras on this one. It's a documentary, some surviving film footage, and a trailer for the next release. Not even a trailer for this release. Yes, you do get 4 versions of the story, including 2 with the surviving episodes. One of which is including the animated episodes as well. But considering it's 3 discs, you could have had a few more extras. At least have the teaser trailer for this story. Maybe commentary for episode 2 on the reconstruction, perhaps. Yeah, this is a very limited release when it comes to special features, besides watching the story in 4 different versions. It's a bit of a shame, really, considering it's 3 discs. And like I said, with the Blu-ray, like with Doctor Who Series 9, they could have spread the extras out across discs 1 and 2. It could just have stayed 2 discs for the Blu-ray, whilst the DVD could have been 3 discs. It is nice to have another 3-disc Doctor Who DVD. I think this is the 3rd one, excluding Lost in Time, which that's a box set, technically. But after Lost in Time, it was the War Games and the Talents of Wang Chang special edition, and now this one for DVD. For Blu-ray, you got Shah, the steelbook as well, and then this one, and the steelbook for this one as well, and Macroterra is a steelbook as well. Steelbooks have been 3 discs, and then this is the first standard 3-disc set for the classic series. But it's a bit of a shame that they didn't put on a few more extras to bunk up that 3rd disc. I mean, yeah, there is the 6-episode reconstruction. Well, 1 and 3 are the original one, 2, 4, 5 and 6 are the reconstructions. But you could have put a few more extras on there to bunk up some space, and the same for disc 2, where it is just 1 version of the story. Disc 1, fair enough, you got 2 versions of the story, but you could have bunked up discs 2 and 3, perhaps. Disc 2 claims it has bonus material, but apart from the commentary, perhaps, I don't think it does. Maybe it has the PDF file, PDF materials on there, perhaps, but I'm not sure. So, yeah, as far as the documentary is good, surviving footage and stock footage is good, and the trailer for Fury from the Deep's alright. It's not that it's probably my least favourite of the teasers for a missing Doctor Who story. But yeah, it's alright. So the extras, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 for extras, because the documentary is a pretty good one, and it's definitely worth checking out, and the stock footage and surviving footage is pretty good. And of course, you do get 4 versions of the story on 3 discs. 2 of them on disc 1, 1 on disc 2, and the reconstruction on disc 3. In fact, you could even have had that on disc 2 and perhaps then filled up disc 3 with all the other extras. So that's disappointing. Cover art is a good one. I'm going to give it a 7. I thought it was beautiful when I first saw it, but now it just looks a bit plain. It's better than the Macra Terrors one. I did have a quick look at that as well. That was just the Doctor. It wasn't even a full Macra. It was more of a silhouette, or at least not quite fully imaged. That's what I'm talking about. It's more of it's coming towards him. You can't see it fully yet, but it's there, so not quite silhouette. But yeah, it's just the Doctor and the Macra. That's not the best cover. This one's got at least a little bit going on, but it's still a bit plain. And hopefully they'll have something more akin to Sharda when there's a bit more stuff on the picture. Then you can tell that it's some sort of an adventure rather than something to do with an airport and aliens at the airport. I mean, it's better than just the Doctor and the Macra, but still. I might sound a bit too critical, to be honest, but it's still a nice cover, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. It does look better in its full version, by the way, because the shorter version, especially this bit, it does look a bit awkward. So the other bits were slipcases and well, the slipcases are more or less the same, so that's 7 as well. Well, I do like these slipcases, to be honest. They're really nice. They feel really good inside them. And the inside bits in best of booklet, leaflets and stuff, they're pretty good as well. The making of booklets, although they could have made more space for the extras. And the leaflets for The Edge of Time game and At Childhood's End book are also pretty good. I'm going to give those, I also give those a 7 out of 10 because the booklet's interesting and the leaflets are good, but they could have made a bit more space for the extras on these in the booklet. I can forgive them not doing the original classic series range booklet stuff to what was done before because it's a bit different now, but maybe they could have made a bit more space on that back page, not the very back, the page before the back, to list the extras properly. Which is a shame. It's actually quite surprising that the back of the DVDs and Blu-rays have more extras listed than the booklets. that is surprising. Oh well. So on the whole, the Faceless ones, that's a 9, a 5, and 3 7s. Out of 50, that is 21, 26, 35. So I'm going to give the Faceless ones DVD and Blu-ray, both of them are both 35 out of 50, which divided by 10, because I want to get out of 10, I guess that's a 7 out of 10 for this release. In that case, 7 5s is 35 and 10 5s is 50, so the Faceless ones, DVD and Blu-ray, are both 7 out of 10. The story is brilliant. The animation is amazing for the most parts. There's one bit I do talk about in the Universal's review that is not good. But apart from that, it's anything else is nitpicks and niggles, and it's more or less amazing. Probably the second best animated episodes that they've done after the Macra Terrace, surprisingly. Well, I say surprising because I'm not a fan of that story, but the animation was amazing. This one, amazing animation apart from one bit towards the end of part 5, which I talk more about in the Universal's review. Anything else is a nitpick and just circumstance. But yeah, the story is amazing. However, the release itself isn't that amazing. The artwork is good, but it's also a bit simple. There isn't much going on. I'm not saying have lots of stuff going on, but maybe a plane or something would have helped, an aeroplane in the background. And I have no idea what these lights are supposed to be. Maybe it's representing a runway, maybe the spaceship, but it just looks a bit weird. It's better than the Macra Terrors cover, but it's not as good as Power of the Daleks, which is simple, but at least I can tell what's going on. It's a story about the Doctor and his friends battling Daleks. And Sharda had a little bit of stuff going on, so Yeah. Ooh, hope they bring Clayton Hickman and or Lee Binding back to do the next cover. For Fury from the Deep. I do not want that one just being the Doctor and with seaweed in the background. Please do have something else going on in the back, or maybe the oil rig in the background as well, but please have not just be the Doctor and some seaweed or foam. Have some, maybe Victoria as well, because it's her final story. Maybe she can be on the cover. Like Polly is here, sort of. Well, Polly, chameleon, I guess. The booklet, I think, was pretty good, apart from the second to back page where it needed to list more extras, and I felt that maybe some of the bits on the back page could have been removed in order to have some of the maybe the scene selection or more extras, the extras not fitting onto the page before going onto that. Leaflets are fine. They're just leaflets. They're not to be worried about. Slipcases are the same as the covers, the same images, to be honest, apart from the double-sidedness. That's pretty much it. My biggest downside is the lack of extras. There is one documentary, 2 lots of surviving footage, 1 stock, 1 from the actual episode, and a trailer for the next release. That, apart from the 4 versions of the story, that's pretty much all you're getting as far as extras are concerned. So, yeah, I suppose they consider the reconstruction and the surviving episode options as extras, but apart from that, it's a bit lacking. And honestly, with the Blu-ray, if they had gone down the Series 9 routes, they could have spread the extras across discs 1 and 2, and not worried about a 3rd disc, or bunk up the 3rd disc with more extras. At least put the teaser for this story on there. Nevertheless, it's still a good release, and I highly recommend getting it, especially if you're a completist. Though that steelbook does look... The steelbook does look a lot prettier. Everything but the cover art will be the same, and it does look pretty good. So that might bunk up that score for that one if I get that. Hopefully, fingers crossed for birthday, which is in just over a month's time. Fingers crossed, but it is going out of stock quickly every now and again. But in the meantime, if you can only get these, I do recommend them. This one especially, the DVD especially if you want to complete the collection. But if you just want it in best quality, get the Blu-ray. If you want both in the collection, be my guest. Same with the steelbook. But unfortunately, if you're looking for the special features on this one, if you're a fan of special features, this one isn't really that. This isn't a very good release for that. However, these releases are definitely worth getting for the main feature alone. But if you're looking for special features, these ones won't be that good. The best releases, of course, are the ones that have both great main features and special features. And I think that's something that some of the older DVDs and Blu-rays for Doctor Who have done, especially if you're a fan of commentaries with the new series releases, having one every episode up to the end of time. Up to Journey's End. And also for the classic series ones. I think the only one I know not to have a commentary is The Edge of Destruction. Actually, I think I know the World Web of Clear do have their commentaries, to be honest. Edge of Destruction is the only one is the only one I don't think does, to be honest. But yeah. But like I said, if you only care about the main feature, these are definitely worth getting. But if you also like your extras, then that is a bit of a disappointment there. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching this review. I'm sorry if it goes on for a bit too long. Please check out my review of this story on the Retro channel for more of my thoughts on the story itself, and also my review on the Universal's channel for more thoughts on the animated version. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne YouTube channel. Sorry, we started recording already. Whilst with the Sharda ones onward, with the ones from Sharda. Because... Oh, be quiet! I only just started filming this bit. But the... Excuse me. and these animated versions as well. So you can check those out, but again, we'll see in a future video. But you got the colour version of the story, you got the black and white version of the story, you got the original 2 surviving stories with an option to watch them with the animated episodes, animated missing episodes in black and white, and the telesnap reconstruction of those. You have an option to watch there, and the booklet and the leaflets will be the same, but the cover art might be enough. However, the main feature is definitely worth getting. However, these releases are I'll see you guys next time. Please check out my review of the Faceless ones from last year on the Retro channel for more thoughts on that. For more of my thoughts on that of the story on. For more of my thoughts on the story, and also the Universals, and also my review of the story for and also my review on the Universals channel about the animated version. And also my review on the Universals version. And also my review on the Universals channel for more